In the last part, we had a Robin slash Nightwing suit that had an ability exclusive, but not really used a lot. These next two segments, we'll be talking about the Batman slash Batgirl suit that is in kind of the same type of situation. Here is the heat protection suit. This is an ability exclusive to the bat suits. Basically, if there are bright red Lego bricks about, you can interact with them without dying if you're wearing the heat protection suit. It can be bright red bricks you need to build, or a passageway spraying some red gas, or even some climbing pipes that are red. The suit itself is probably one of my favorites across all hero suits. That might even be including Lego Batman 2 and 3. I'll have to go over the suits for those, but I like this one a lot. I just really like the red suit with the red goggles. Also, with Barbara Gordon's hair, it just adds to the cool looking suit. But just like the magnet suit, it's exclusive but ultimately not used as much as it could be, making them a bit lower on the list, but still making it into the penultimate episode of the series. Batman, while not having the red hair to go with the red suit, still looks hella cool. Now, of course, there is a suit upgrade to be gotten to make the heat protection suit more desirable. This time around, it's the flaming batarang. This one makes sense, unlike the freezing batarang of the dive suit. Like, yeah, ice is solid water, but it's still not the same state of matter. It's dumb. But the flaming batarang makes sense because it's an accessory only the heat protection suit can handle because of the flaming temperatures, if you will. But ultimately, most enemies you take out through hand-to-hand combat anyway, and very few get to perish at the hand of the flaming batarang. But at the end of the day, the heat protection suit is very cool to look at for both Batman and Batgirl. But the suit itself isn't needed as much, so I don't get to appreciate its greatness. Now, the magnet suit and the heat protection suit both were exclusive abilities to the heroes, but not really used. This specific suit and the last Robin slash Nightwing suit coming up are abilities also exclusive to the heroes, but are used a sufficient amount in the game. This is the Sonic suit, the final specialized Batman slash Batgirl suit in the series. The Sonic suit is pretty simple. You see some glass? You want to break public property? Well, grab your Sonic gun and shoot it to bust that glass to non-existence. And I will say, glass sure was present in this game, as it is everywhere. You use it a lot in the hero levels, and they also were used a lot for collectibles in both the hero and villain levels. The suit itself is pretty much all blue, and which let me make a note of this. Isn't Batman the whole thing is to not stand out in the night, blend into the shadows, and take his enemies by surprise? With this in the heat protection suit, Batman and Batgirl are really going against that, but you know what? They look cool, so whatever. Of course, let's get to the suit upgrades of the Sonic suit. That's right, I said upgrades, plural. There are three which contribute to why this is considered the most useful Batman suit of all. Reminder, the amount of suit upgrades that affect all suits as opposed to just one is also 3. So that means that there are 6 suit upgrades in total that affect this specific suit. The first is called Sonic Pain. No, not the feeling you had after watching the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer.
Meow?
It just means that your Sonic gun hurts enemies now. Still, you use hand-to-hand combat, so it's not that useful, but hey, whatever. The second upgrade is Area Effect. This is my favorite of the 3. Instead of just shooting the Sonic gun in one direction, it's instead shot into the air and swirls around, affecting a larger range. The third is Bats. It's just called Bats. The bats just surround the Sonic waves. I don't think it does anything. It just looks cool, I guess. Gosh, this feels so sentimental. Batman is the namesake of this entire game, and this is the last time we're going to be seeing him in this series. So Batman, thank you for the memories made in this game. Now let us go talk about your villains who are notably better to play as. Okay, here's the final hero suit that will be introduced in the series. And as I've said, this ability is exclusive to this specific suit, and it is used a lot. It is the Attract suit. The whole details of the suit, very easy to understand. Throughout levels, you'll see these little red, yellow, and green tanks with a 25 on it. With the Attract suit, you can collect these random red, yellow, and green debris that are laying around or revealed after destroying objects. When you suck up the piece, the number on Robin's back increases by 1. Once Robin gets 25 pieces, he can dispense it into the tank so it can build something special. In story mode, it's probably some stupid vehicle or something. But in an area only available in free play, it's more likely than not a mini kit. It's hard to find a level where you don't have to use the Attract suit, whether it be for the story or for free play. But not only does it help you get 10 out of 10 mini kits, but it also helps you get more studs for True Hero. I don't really talk about this because the characters aren't really involved in this, but in case you don't know, True Hero is rewarded after getting enough studs, just like True Jedi and True Adventurer in LEGO Star Wars and LEGO Indiana Jones, respectively. There are a total of 50 pieces of junk or more. They're just sprawled around any given area with a tank. The first 25 may go to a vehicle or mini kit, but after you can enter in 25 more for a crap ton of studs. This is perfect for getting that True Hero status and using the studs for buying up the shop. Man, I said the Attract suit was easy to understand, but it still took up so much time that I couldn't get to what the suit looks like. You probably can't observe it by now, but I think it's an interesting look. Basically, they have a little pack on their back with a vacuum. Reminds me of that one episode of SpongeBob, you know the one. Anyway, there are 2 suit upgrades for the suit. The first is faster pieces. It basically just sucks up pieces faster than they used to. Honestly, not that big of a deal. I mean, the pieces are going to get there either way. Who cares about the speed at which they do? The second suit upgrade is a lot more useful. It's called the Piece Detector. With this suit upgrade equipped, you can see little boxes that show up on the screen to tell you where the pieces are. This saves a lot of time because when you need to just get the pieces, you frantically break objects hoping that the pieces are underneath. This suit just straight up tells you where they are. It's a lot more useful when you're trying to get the second 25 pieces, because by the last 5 pieces or so, they may be a bit difficult to find. But anyway, this is the last of the heroes we'll see in this whole series. It's a little sad, to be honest, but you know, villains are better, what can I say? The rest of the characters in the series are villains. This really does say something about our society and how we live in one. Here we have the most obscure villain in the game, I'd say, Killer Moth. As for abilities, he has 1, and half if you want to count a gun. But in addition to a gun, he has the glide ability. Yeah, remember that one Batman suit? Well, imagine that, but a goof with a gun has it. In hindsight, maybe it would have been made more sense to have Killer Moth behind Batman and Batgirl's glide suit, but come on, it's Killer Moth. His boss fight was all about turning on lights to entice him. He's pretty unique, and it's cool that he made it into the game. The developers made him one of the villains Batman had to take down, over the likes of Ra's al Ghul, who had to be unlocked in the after the game. That's just so goofy, like Killer Moth. Fun fact, there was actually an alternate design for Killer Moth in the DS version. Look at that. Look at that. That is the stuff of nightmares. Thank God we didn't get that in the console version with higher definition. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Stop that. Stop. The next villain to grace this series is the Man-Bat. Let's take a compound word that made Batman and just switch it. As it turns out, Batman and Man-Bat will elicit 2 totally different results. Man-Bat has 2 abilities to note. The first is the glide ability, the obvious one. I mean, he has giant-ass wings, and it goes without saying. The second ability he has is something we haven't covered yet. Man-Bat has super strength. This is the first LEGO game to have super strength, and this game set a precedent. Most LEGO games with super strength since this game have these orange handles, which are seen in this game. They debuted in this game. A character with the super strength ability can interact with these orange handles, pulling them forward, backward, or what have you, to make areas accessible. Or in some cases, you can pull on the orange handle once, and the character will just throw it off screen. Man-Bat puzzles me, because there's an ability I believe he should have, but doesn't in this game. The Sonic ability. I mean, he's half bat, and they're all about echolocation and stuff. Man-Bat even has the Sonic ability in LEGO Batman 2. So what's the big idea, TT Games? Come on. Here's the first villain you face in the game, Clayface. This design is one of the coolest designs I've seen in the game, and it's an absolute shame that they've never gotten this specific Clayface design in minifigure form in a set. His fighting animation is really neat with his hammer hand and such. He can also throw a chunk of clay, but honestly I didn't even remember that he did that until I was gathering footage for this part. But you may ask, what does he bring to the table? Well, for one, he has the super strength ability, which is justified. I mean, he can be a big guy. And the next ability is something we haven't seen, the double jump ability. I particularly like this ability because I get some feeling of power whenever I do it. Characters that can double jump can jump to higher elevations, obviously. Also, they can technically jump across bigger gaps because of their air time, but that's not an official perk of this ability. But I mean, you can probably rig it so they can make some jumps they weren't supposed to make. Fun fact about the DS version, the Clayface in that game only has super strength and not the double jump. So ha ha, finally something the console version has that the DS version lacks. I've always liked Bane as a villain. No, not the Bane from Batman and Robin. No, not the Tom Hardy version either. I guess Batman Nightfall is where Bane shined the most. I think the only place where he shined at all. Anyway, in this game, Bane has two abilities. The first is super strength, which is something you should expect if you know your Batman methods. Like, come on, what if they had Bane and they didn't give him super strength? I would honestly burn my computer. What? Why did I write that into the script? The second is toxic immunity, which also makes sense. But as I've said, it's hard to find a level without toxic gunk somewhere. So any character with toxic immunity will always have a leg up. But not even toxic immunity was enough to get Bane into the top 10. Sorry, Bane, you're going to stay at number 11.